It can't be stressed enough that identity is everything right now. I think that many of you could be underestimating what I'm emphasizing. We're going into the duality concerning identity. We have to go through all phases because we started over from Pisces, then to Aries, then Taurus, now Gemini, with these energies that are focusing and homing in on deliverance, wilderness, and freedom. Every place that Uranus is going to is giving us deliverance. And after the deliverance, the shock of the deliverance, the cognitive dissonance of the deliverance, being broken free from something or someone or communities even, levels, realities, worlds that we are attached to, that we are terrified to walk away from, that we are scared shitless to separate ourselves from. Uranus knows how to get us up out of that. And when Uranus gets you up out of something through delivery, it is painful, it is shocking, it fucks your whole world up. You think that something terrible just happened. You think that you just lost something. You think you fell from grace. It shatters the only reality that you thought you were relating to, that you thought you were comprehending. Here's a point I'm making, is that now that Uranus is about to transit through Gemini, it's addressing the mind. It's addressing the mind. We can't have deliverance of the mind until after that Taurus deliverance, which was about stability. And that is stability that's based on, where is my handhold? Where is my trustworthy handhold? In the Holy Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Allah is the trustworthy handhold that never breaks. Allah is a trustworthy handhold that never breaks. That's what Allah says in the Holy Quran. And when we talk about Allah, we're talking about all law, the universal law that we can have faith in at all times, no matter what. Universal law. So we were being taught through the Taurus-Uranus transit to put our faith in universal law, not in the promises of politicians, people who we like or love, not in someone who's really nice to you, someone who helps you all the time. None of that. You're putting faith in what you even believe in. None of that. You put your faith in the universal laws that you comprehend through the wisdom of life. That's where stability is at. It's in no other place. Not a job, no status, no money. None of that is stable, because everything else except for your reliance on universal divine law, it will betray you every time. It will fall into an illusion and expose you as being delusional. Until we have stability, the mind cannot quiet. The mind cannot stabilize. So Uranus had to go through Taurus to give us deliverance first, so that we can access quiet of mind and stability of mind as Uranus transits through Gemini, bringing lightning storms. You can't pick two struggles. All right? That's grace. You can't have Taurus, Uranus, and Gemini, Uranus at the same time. Both your stability and your mind is in an uproar. No. Pick one struggle. So the struggle we're getting next is going to be with the mind. And that is on the basis of perceived or misperceived dualities. And I'll give an example is that many of you, if I say, are you a U.S. citizen? This don't matter what race, nationality, or origin. I know that some of you seen what I'm talking about, with the Moorish identity, the Moabites, the Hebrews. Yes, that's the case with us niggas. All right? But for the rest of you out there, the same applies to a lot of you too. Because the status that you think you have is an illusion. And where we're headed at, you're going to need to know that. You're going to need to understand that. Because as Saturn passes through Aries, that is restriction of the identity. It's the binding of the identity. It's entrapment of the identity. But it is karmic. And the karma is, have you been paying attention? The karma is, do you see through the illusions around your identity? The karma is, were you sleeping while the teacher was talking? Was you bullshitting, chewing the cud, shooting the shit when the masters came to prepare you? So you don't have to be entrapped in the rings of Saturn as it passes through the codes and frequencies of the identity Aries. See, a lot of y'all out there is sleeping on the infamous astrologers. You want entertainment, you want pastime, you want to feel good, a quick fix real quick, but you don't want to do the fucking work. And guess what? It's gonna come and bite you in the fucking ass. Because I know what's coming when Saturn passes through Aries. Some people who are not fucking paying attention, it's gonna feel like a ring went around their identity. Oh, I'm trapped. Oh, Big Uncle Sam got me. It's not fair. That's not legal. Oh, it's not right. Oh, they can't do that. That's unconstitutional. With status comes jurisdiction. And upon jurisdiction, adjudication. And all of this deals with jurisprudence. It is not separate from the spiritual identity because it is the spiritual identity that is the only loophole out of the entrapment of the illusions that are placed on you concerning law, practice, status, incorporation illusions, corporate illusions, incorporations of persons. It is the incorporated person versus the natural person within the self, and rather not we are able to detect the natural person against the incorporated person that we are used to. The incorporated person is the only person who you're used to. You raise your head, oh, I'm a U.S. citizen, I'm a United States citizen. You don't know what the U.S. is? You don't know the difference between America and United States? You don't know what it means to be a citizen? You don't know the difference between being a person and a natural person? And this has nothing to do with sovereign citizenship and these fucking weirdos, fucking pothead weirdos running the earth trying to give police officers hard time. This has to do with your divine identity. That's going to pose a duality to the identity that you have been used to, given you through corporate illusions of authority. And if you don't know your way out of it, Saturn is going to imprison you. Saturn is going to bind and imprison you, and you are going to feel like you're in a fucking concentration camp right here on this soil. And you know what? You deserve it. Because you're the fucking dickhead who thought it was a fucking joke, so you deserve it. You can't say that knowledge didn't come to you. You can't say that clarity didn't come to you. You can't say that the message didn't come to you. You reject it because you love sitting on your fucking ass. You think you got time. You believe you got time. The divine identity through the natal birth chart, it is not separate from the natural person. The natural person has a manifestation through ancestry here on this planet that is not bound, constricted, obligated. It is not a debtor. It has a state. It has status. It has inalienable rights. And you have to know both sides of your identity. You have to know the status of both sides of this identity, which is one. One is founded upon the other. See, here's how you prefer it. You prefer that I come like a lot of these people out here who got fancy hats with star and moon symbols all this up in the fucking fancy ass hats. Some big muscles and tattoos and jewelry, fancy music. The videos are all edited up by professionals and all this other stuff. Then you want to open your mind and believe. Even less than that, you won't be inclined to believe. You'll be inclined to lust, is what it is. If it's not a female up here looking all attractive talking to you, or if it's not some guy sitting here all attractive and all these decorations and bells and whistles and glitter to entertain you, to make your pussy wet, to make your fucking dick hard, you can't listen. You can't participate. You can't pay attention. You can't get connected. You can't get involved. Shame on you. Shame on you. How much passion, how much effort must I put into a people who do not reciprocate the same effort? I'm warning you, Saturn is going to complete its transit through Aries, and you are going to feel like your identity has become imprisoned. And it's an illusion. You won't know the first damn thing about getting out of that illusion if you're not fucking paying attention. But one thing has to build upon the other. I am emphasizing identity, which leads to status, and status which leads to jurisdiction and estate. There's no other protection for you. You don't want to listen. You think you got it all figured out. I can't do it all. These messages on here are free of charge. And it proves the point. If somebody's not paying for something, they're not going to appreciate it. If you're not paying a price for something, you'll take it for granted. If you're not being charged a hefty ass price, you will take information for granted. You will take a message for granted. You will not value or respect it. You'll toss it in the back seat. Oh, I'll get to it tomorrow. No big deal. You got time now. You got time today. It has to progressively manifest as clarity to you, because Uranus don't care about if you're prepared or not. It's going to deliver you. And when Uranus comes to deliver you, it is a shock that always brings cognitive dissonance. And when you are in the middle of that cognitive dissonance, you are depressed, you are confused, your world is upside down, you're in the hangman, left is right and right is left, you don't know what to make of it. And this takes place in the mind, the ethereal. Cognitive dysfunction, cognitive decline. You're perceiving duality all around you, which manifests as the darkness is going to get me, not the light begets from the dark. Oh, the sun is going down. Yes, in order for it to make a return. Duality and unity is a single perception. Unity evolves from duality. But you're not going to get it if you're not perpetually, gradually, consistently working your way up to the full understanding. This is where it begins with the natal birth chart, the numerology, knowing yourself in spirit, and then confirming yourself as the natural person who walks the land as a free person. Citizen is not a flattery. Citizen is a means to uphold tax burden. Religion is a means to control the inevitable consequences of truthful revelation reaching the people, which triggers violence. It subdues that reaction. The distractions of women out front in society, feminism, sex everywhere, body, titties, ass, entertainment, TikTok dancing, laughing, social media, video, swipe, sugar, junk food, ADHD, cortisol, depression, low testosterone. All of this is to keep you consciously impaired in a downward spiral where you don't even stand a chance to fight your way out to really know what freedom is. Mind you, this a nigga talking to y'all about freedom. Now ain't that some fucking irony? A nappy-headed, broad-nosed, big-lip nigga is talking to all y'all out there about freedom. Now ain't that some irony? But you don't want to be free. Here I am, a nigga, calling y'all to freedom. Now ain't that some shit? The irony. When God chooses to use somebody, it's the least person you expect for God to use. Because that's the part that glorifies God, is that he will use what is least expected, what is least probable for an intended outcome. The same way he used David to slay Goliath, the little dirty shepherd boy. While he had plenty of brothers who were trained in military schools, big square chins with the dent in it, hair all on the chest, broad shoulders, and a little nigga with a slingshot took down the fucking giant. I'm not decorated. I don't have a fancy hat with stars and all this other stuff on it. I'm worthy of wearing it. More so than them. I represent the sun, moon, and stars more than they do. I can articulate and clarify it more than they do. but they're more entertaining. They're more appealing to the eye. And that's what holds your attention. The sugar, the empty calories. But what do you get from the sugar spikes and the empty calories? You fall asleep. You get fat. Your self-esteem drops and drops and drops. And it's all self-inflicted. Uranus is not gonna fucking play in Gemini. It's going to present illusions to you that test your sense of security about your freedom, your free will. What is legal and what is not. What the government is authorized to do and what they're not. What your status is and what it's not. Is this bad for us or is it good for us? Can they do that or can they? You're going to be confused as fuck about these things. The only thing that's going to ground you is identity. You have to set your mind free. Uranus is going to do the job of deliverance. It's going to pick and choose what you do not have the consciousness and wisdom to realize is a point of attachment or a point of entrapment. You don't know that. You can't see that. We can't see that. I can't see that. But Uranus is going to throw a lightning bolt at those specific things that keeps you entrapped or tied. And the illusion is going to pose to you that something is happening against you, that this is bad for you. But it faces you in the wilderness with the self. And in the wilderness of the self is where the cognitive dissonance arrives you at the shadows in the self. Those parts of the self that you have abandoned, ran away from, became a fugitive of through fear, shame, guilt, brainwashing, social conditioning. It's where the falsehood within the self reckons with the truth in the self, and a submission has to take place. A surrender has to take place so that you can transform through Scorpio algorithm into empowerment with such being rebirth or reborn into the true status in order to claim the jurisdiction and estate that comes with the status in spirit and in the flesh of the land. But corporations and incorporation, it keeps you from realizing these things. Corporation and incorporation is not just simply your favorite business, your Starbucks. It's entire illusions of countries. It's entire illusions of nations who have illusions of status, illusions of power, illusions of authority. And you're going to need to know and understand this as Saturn passes through Aries. I warn you. Gemini rules two things: personality and the soul. Personality includes civil status. Person. It includes civil status. The first house is your civil status. The civil status is an illusion to the common person. Behind the civil status is the natural status. First house, fourth house, and Aries. The natural status. The natural status comes from your forefathers. The civil status, it begins with your birth certificate and your social security card. Capital letters and the mistake of signing that shit when you weren't even conscious enough to know what your parents were signing on your behalf and the estate that goes with it. behind it. You're not even aware of. The subjugation of person and personhood to be incorporated without your permission and will. Gemini ruling personality versus the soul. It presents a duality, a dual conflict between the status of the soul and the personhood. The soul, it expresses inalienable rights and status. It expresses that. But it meets limitation in its contradictions with the civil expression of the personality. So how do you reconcile with both of these separations of the self through Gemini? Uranus is the one that's going to teach you through deliverance. We will go through the wilderness with these energies because we are going to be subject to circumstances, terms, outcomes that causes a crisis within the self and the family that feels very unfair and conflicted, where the natural person or the soul body is going to have a sharp contrast and conflict with the civil person or the incorporated status. And if you don't understand how these illusions work, woo, you gonna have a hard time. You don't believe me? I'm not fancy enough to be believed. I don't sell enough sex to be believed. I don't turn the camera on myself and show the results I get and going to the gym 5 to 7 days a week. I don't show it. I don't put little ass shirts on and turn the camera on myself and let you see my results. I don't do it. I don't have a fancy turban or a cap on my head with stars and fucking gems and emblems and shit. So I can't hold your attention. What's it gonna take to hold your attention, to get you prepared? How am I more concerned about you than you? How am I fighting for you more than you're fighting for you? How do you let that happen? How do you get to where a nappy-headed nigga is telling y'all about freedom here in the U.S.? How did that happen? The irony of that. I'm not a commercial astrologer. I am an astrologist. I'm calling you to freedom, starting with the spirit. And then the natural status. You have to go in order. You don't see Cash App links in my videos. You don't see PayPal links in my videos. You don't hear me on here begging. Everything's free. What does that say about you, who won't fight for you as much as I fight for you? What does that say about you? I know what's coming. And my message cannot be a message that tailors to your likes and desires. It has to be the truth. So with that comes some burdens for all of us to share.